Hi everyone, I've been asked to do a few questions, so I'm just going to go through them because I've got to get a video for year 9 done as well. Okay, if you hear any noises in the background, it's not me. There's some people here. Anyway, let's go through this. Year 8, we're going to do midterm 1, practice booklet 1, which is this, question 49. So we go to question 49, which is, okay, we're nearly there. Okay, so it's pretty much near the end. Now, it's at the end, in fact. Okay, last question. A, B, C, and D, E, F are parallel straight lines. ABE is isosceles. Okay, so that's important straight away. Isosceles triangle, so that means we can get some information easily. You see the 2 marks there and there. We can get those, they're going to help us. Work out the sides of angle X, which is here. Okay, let's go. Well, what do we know? We're given 1, 4, 2. We're given a straight line, we're given an isosceles triangle, so let's use those. So first thing, even if you don't know where to start, just write in what you know. That's a straight line. So this angle has to be 180. So you have to give a reason as well, okay? So let's do that. Let's do that. So we have 180 degrees minus 142 degrees. You don't have to put the degrees in at this stage. Anyway, it's 138 degrees. Sorry, it's 142. It's 38 degrees. Excuse me. Anyway, so you get that 38 degrees, and then you would just stick that in there. Now we have to write down a reason why. Okay. So you can say, what angle is that? It's for ABX, okay? So you can just write down ABX, it's that angle. So let's just do that. Just make sure the person knows what you're talking about. You could put a little star here if you want. You know what I mean? You could put a little star, and you could put, instead of ABX, you could just write star. Just so we know what you're talking about. Okay, so for star, which is this, 180 minus 142 is that. And what's the reason? Well, the reason angles on a straight line on a, well, you don't have to put straight, all lines in maths are straight, but anyway. If it's not straight, it's called a curve. Straight line. All angles on straight lines, whatever, add to, sum to 180 degrees, or add to 180 degrees. Alright, so that's that. Okay, now how are we going to get X? Well, this is isosceles, so we know the angles at the base are equal. Okay, so it's basically the angles that are opposite the equal sides are equal. Alright, I thought I'll just change the color a bit, make it a bit more easy to see. It doesn't want to change. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll leave it at that. Let's go to what do we know now? What do we know about these two? Any idea? We know they're equal, yeah. So let's just call them Y and Y. So we know that what? 38 plus y equals 180. Yeah, because it's a triangle. So we know 180 degrees equals 2y plus 38 degrees. You don't have to put the degrees in yet. I'll just put it in so you know where I'm getting it from. That implies 180 minus 38 equals 2y. That implies 142. I dropped the degrees. It's just so we know where it comes from. Equals 2y. So what's 142 divided by 2y, or divided by 2? 71. So we know y is 71 degrees. Okay. So you don't have to call this star because we've called it a name. We call it y. So you just call it y. As long as I know what you're talking about and you've shown it, that's all that matters. Give a reason. Okay, so that's my advice. Get the angle, give a reason. Get the angle, give a reason. Oh, give a reason. Okay, well, there's two reasons. Reason one, angles at the base of a triangle, at the base of an isosceles triangle, the base. I've been doing maths since 6 o'clock this morning. It's nice to do that on your day off. Anyway, triangle are equal. Yeah, we know that. Can I go across? No. Alright, so we know they're equal. Alright, so we said they're equal. And then what was the second thing? Angles in a triangle. What do we know about angles in a triangle? They add to 180 degrees. Or they sum to 180 degrees, whatever. Add to 180 degrees. Coolio. Alright, so that's that taken care of. So we know that y is 71 degrees. Whatever. So we say y is equal to 71 degrees. Yeah. My computer's a bit weird today. Anyway. It's doing its best. That's that. Now, how does that help us? Well, look. There's two ways you could do this, right? Well, there's probably more than two. But the obvious one I see is this. If I get a different color, if I go for a blue, we have parallel lines here, right? So you're definitely going to have a Z shape when we have parallel lines. So you can see the Z shape here. Whatever. See that Z shape that we have? So I'll just move out. That's a bit better. So we have that Z shape, yeah? So look, that's in the corner here, and that's in the corner there. Yeah, they are alternate angles. Opposite sides and opposite ends. So you know x equals 71 because they are alternate angles. So you can put down the last one, x. So say x equals 71 degrees, y, alternate angles are equal. Alternate. It is one word, even though it doesn't look like it there. Alternate angles are equal. Cool, done. That's it. X is 71 degrees. Now, there is another way. You could have said this angle here is x. You could have said that, but it actually looks like it, but actually it's not true. What you do know, it does look like that's x, but it's actually it's not true, because we know x has to be 71. So this would not add up to 180. Now, see this angle here is 142. What do you know about this and this? They're co-interior angles. Like so the question is done now, by the way. But if you could look at it another way. So you could say that angle there, that whatever cyan color angle, plus 142. You could call it, I don't know what you call it, W. you could say W plus 142 equals 180 degrees. That implies W equals 38 degrees because they're co-interior. Or you could say W and star are alternate angles, so that's 38. So then you could say angles on a straight line, so you know that's 38, right? Whatever, from co-interior or alternate. And then you could say here x plus 71 plus 38, yeah, equals 180. So that implies whatever. 71 plus 38 is 109. 180 x equals 180 minus 109. Now what do you think that is? It's also 71 degrees. So there's a couple of ways you could do that. Probably there could possibly be more than a couple. Okie dokie, we'll move on. So I've been asked to do practice question year 8, 37A, B, 38 and 39. Okay, I did put up the solutions of this since that time. So maybe, maybe that's fine now, but I'll just do it anyway. Alright, let's go. So we're looking for 37. Okay, here we go. Lovely. LMN is parallel to PQR. Okay, so that line's parallel. So parallel, the second you see parallel, right, your brain needs to switch on and say Z shape, alternate angles, co-interior angles, corresponding angles. Alright, Z shape. Okay, where do we have Z shape? There. That's a Z shape, isn't it? And then you kind of have a reverse Z shape as well. Some people might call it an F shape. I'll put it in blue. You see this kind of reverse Z shape. Yeah. So we've two Z's. So you know that Y. Luckily we don't have to write down the reasons here, thank God. So you know here that Y and that Y they're alternate angles. Yeah, they're in the corner. That's in the corner. So that's Y degrees. And this X, well, if that's X up there, I'm not even looking at the question yet. I'm just kind of marking stuff in. That's not the actual color, is it? It's this one. That's X there, right? So, right, I'm not even looking at it yet. Write down an expression. Expression, what does that mean? It means you're going to have numbers and letters, or else you're just going to have letters, okay? It's not just going to be a number on its own. For a number on its own, they'll say solve, right? Or find. But when it says expression, it will definitely have letters. And here, they're telling you expression for Y in terms of X. So in other words, they want Y equals blah blah. Alright? Y equals blah blah blah. That's what they want. So let's do it. Well, what do we see straight away? Look at that line. What do those two lines mean? That means that it's an isosceles triangle. Right? That's an isosceles triangle. So what does that mean? That means that this, if that's X, yeah, this also has to be X. Ha! Now we could have two equations in terms of Y. Let's look at the straight line first. So at the line, let's look at the line LMN, which is just that line. You could call it LN if you want. Right, look at that line. What do we know? Y plus X equals 180 degrees. So let's do it. X plus X, alphabetical order, plus Y equals 180 degrees. And they want to have Y equals blah blah blah. Okay, so that line is Y equals 180 minus X. That implies y equals 180 degrees, oops, minus 2x. That degree should be over here, and whatever. Another way you could kind of look at that is you could say, let's look at the triangle, what do they call it? QMR. So look at the triangle. Let's look at that instead. So the question is done now. But here you might look at it this way instead, QMR. Okay, let's look at that. What do we know? Well, what do the angles in a triangle sum to? 180 degrees. So x plus y is going to be the very same, right? We know x plus y equal 180 degrees. Those three angles add together 180. So it's going to be literally the same as that. That implies y equals 180 minus x. Now if you have a different way of doing it, that is even better. That implies y equals 180 degrees minus 2x. There, I put it in the right place this time. So your answer is y, oh sorry, sugar. They already have y there, so we don't even need to put that in. Y equals 180 degrees minus 2x. Done. Alrighty. Now, well, that's part A. Now part B. Alright. Well, first, it's a hexagon. It's irregular, right? So all the sides and all the angles are not the same, but it is a hexagon. How many sides in a hexagon? 6. Let's check. Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's 6 sides in a hexagon. Now, the way to get the total number of angles in a hexagon is this. So you're going to do total angles. I'm not sure if this will come up for you. I'd be surprised. Well, I'm just going to show you this anyway. You don't really know this, so I don't think this is going to come up. Anyway, the total angles in any polygon, that's triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, decagon, etc., is 180 degrees times n minus 2, and that's it. Now, n is the number of sides, so n equals, number of sides is 6. So or whatever, I shouldn't say the total angle, I should say the sum of angles. Yeah, I really should say the sum of angles to be more accurate. So the sum of it's the internal angles, but anyway, whatever. Sum of the angles equals that, so n is that, so let's just go through it. So sum of the angles equals 180 times n minus 2. So it's 6 minus 2. That's 4. That's 720 degrees. Alright? So we know that that's 90. Yeah? So let's do it. Let's do it. So we know all those angles inside add to 180. Or 720, right? So let's just write that out. So we know 90 plus k, let's go this way, plus 115. As I said, you've probably never seen this formula, so I don't think you're going to get this question. It's for year 9 really. Plus 144, but you can still do it. Plus 87, plus our last k. We have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That equals, all them added together equals 720. Alrighty, so let's add them together. Let's get the k's first. We have 2k. 2k. So 90 plus 115 is 205, plus 144 is 349, plus 87 is 436. I think it's 436 equals 720. So that implies, so take 436 away from this, and you're going to get 2k equals, well, what's 720 minus 436? It's 720 minus 400 is 320. And 320 minus 36 should be 284. So we know 2k equals 284. So that implies, or that means, k equals what? 142, easy division. That look like 142? Yeah, bigger than 90, less than 180. Yep. K is 140. Well, it doesn't, it's not drawn accurately, so it doesn't really have to be bigger than 90, less than 180, but it looks like it, so it's all good. So I'm getting k equals 142. Now, been asked to do 38, 39. Let's rock and roll. Let's do it. The diagram shows two parallel lines. Okay, parallel. So what? Remember what I told you before? What should jump out to you if it's parallel? Z. Let's look for a Z. We have a Z shape here. Right. Cool. Work out the value W. So W is there. Alright. Sweet. So we're looking for this angle. Okie dokie. So we have 1, 2, 4. Yeah. So if we get angle B, we have a circle. Yeah. We have that 1, 2, 4. We have a circle here. So if we get angle at B, we'll be able to find W. Yeah. Alright. Give reasons. Oh, great. Give you reasons. Alright. So the first thing, well, there's actually a whole host of ways. The easiest way, the absolute easiest way, is this. Angle B equals this angle. Because they are corresponding. The B is under the parallel and it's on that line. 73 is under this parallel and it's also on that line. So you could say B equals 73 degrees because corresponding angles are equal. Now corresponding is probably not the strongest rule that we know. Corresponding, this must be a new word. Corresponding angles are equal. Alright, so that's the first step. Now, yeah, I mean, you might use a different method to get that angle. So the one I think is most natural, I'll show you in a second. So you could use that. I'm just going to move that up a bit. I'm just going to move it up there. Alright. But I think what you're most likely to use is this. You're probably more likely to say that's 73 degrees because vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay. So you could say, okay, so you could do this, or we could go the other way. We could say, let's just call this star so we know what we're talking about. Star. So for star, star equals 73 degrees. How do we know that? Because vertically opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Alright. Okay. So that, and then you know 73 and B, well, they're alternate angles, aren't they? So you could say B equals 73 degrees. Why? Because alternate angles are equal. Angles are equal. Now, you can see down here they've actually given you a name for the angle. So star would be BEF, by the way, if you were to name it right. And B would actually be ABE. ABE. Alright. But anyway, we don't care. As long as the person who's marking the exam can clearly see that you know what you're talking about and you've shown it. I'm just going to call that B. Who cares? Anyway, bye-bye. Now, so instead of doing this corresponding, you could do vertically opposite and then alternate. Okay, same thing. So that's the first step. Second step, well, that's a circle, isn't it? So let's just do that. And then we'll give our reason. So we don't have much space, so let's just do that. So this is a circle. So we can say W plus B is 73 plus 124 equals 360. Yeah, because that's the angle of a circle, or angle around a point. That implies W equals 360. Now if you add them together, or whatever, let's just do it like this. Now 124 plus 73 is 197. So if you take this away, you should get 163 degrees. Alright, so that would be each 163 degrees. Now you have to give a reason, unfortunately. So angles around a point. If you say angles in a circle equals 360, I might give it to you. But anyway, it is angles around a point, technically. But however, angle in a circle is 360. Angle of a circle is 360, whatever. Angles around a point equal 360 degrees. And that's that. Cool. And then 39. As I said, get the angle, give the reason. Get the angle, give the reason. Get the next angle, give the next reason. Well, this looks like fun. Write down the value of P. Alright, do we have to give a reason? Doesn't look like it, thank goodness. Well, they're parallel, aren't they? So look for your Z shape. Oh, look, we got a Z shape. Oh, look, we got another Z shape. Back, yeah, a backward Z. Cool. So that and that are alternate. So P is 63 degrees. Angle of Q, which is here. Okay, might be a little bit harder. Who cares? That's 50. So if that's 50, now I see a way straight away. You can say that's 50. So this is 50 because it's corresponding. And if that's 50, that's Q is 50. Anyway, let's just do it the less obvious way. Okay, so 50, or the more obvious way. 50 and this are vertically opposite, so you know that's 50 degrees, right? Now you could say this and this are alternate, so that's 50 degrees, and this are vertically opposite, so Q is 50 degrees. You could also have said, just from the get-go, that's 50 and that's 50 because they're corresponding, vertically opposite angles are equal. Or you could say, that's 50, vertically opposite, and that means this 50 and this Q are corresponding. So instead of corresponding vertically opposite, we can say vertically opposite corresponding. Or you could say that's 50, so this angle here, they're co-interior, so that has to be 130 degrees. If that's 130, angles on a straight line add to 180, so 180 minus 130 is Q, which is 50. Alright, done. So I've shown you 4 ways to do that. B, or C, work out the value of X. This is very similar to the one we did before. It is a hexagon. We said 180 times the sum of the angles inside a hexagon, or any polygon, is 180 times any polygon, n minus 2. Think of it, for a triangle, n is 3 because there's 3 sides. N is the number of sides, yeah? So n, remember, n is the number of sides. Again, I don't think this is going to come up on yours. Highly doubt it, but who knows. N is the number of sides. We have, for a triangle, that would be 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 times 180 is 180. Do all the angles inside the triangle add up to 180? Yeah. For a square or rectangle, you're going to have 4 sides. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 times 180 is 360. Yeah, all the angles in a square or rectangle add to 360. Makes sense. Now, we have 6 angles because it's a hexagon, so n equals 6. So we know the sum of the angles, so we're going to get 180 times 6 minus 2, and what that equals is 720. We got that before, remember, for the hexagon. So we know it's very, very similar actually. So we know, let's put it in a different color. We know that, let's just start here. So 3x plus 139 plus x plus 156 plus 97 plus 164. I'm going to move this. Where will I move it? I got to move some stuff because it's getting very limited for space here. Give me a second. My computer doesn't want to play. Right, so let's go. I'm just making a bit of space. So I don't have my mouse with me, so that's why I'm using the pad on my laptop. That's why it might sound really loud for you. All right, that's better. Now let's get on with it. So we know that equals 720. Alrighty. So let's add these. I should do this on my calculator. I'll just do it on my calculator because I don't want to make a mistake and redo the video. 139 plus 156 plus 97 plus 164 556. So we know, well, we have 3x and x, so we know 4x. That implies, or that means 4x. We add the numbers together and we just get 556. 4x plus 556 equals 720, right? So that implies 4x equals 720 minus 556. What you do when you get that is 164. This should be easy now. Okay, so that implies x is 164 divided by 4. Yeah. 16 divided by 4 is 1. 4 divided by 4, or sorry, 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Yeah, so we get 41. So x is 41. And that's it. Alright. Last question, worded question. I put this up where I saw Mr. Nuno had given his students a worded sheet. So I decided to make one for us. Specifically focused on worded questions. These are like very general questions, so they often come up. Holy moly. Well, thanks for giving me that one. Always giving me the long ones. Right, you can do this in 2 ways. You can do this in 2 ways. Well, whatever. I should say you can start it in 2 ways. I'll show you both ways. The diagram shows the plan of Sophia's gym floor. Sophie is going to paint the floor. Each tin of paint covers an area 20 meters squared. There's a special offer on paint. Alright. So we need to find out the lowest amount of money she has to pay. So let's just find the area of this floor first. Now there's 2 ways. First way, we know this is a trapezium because that's 90, that's 90, so that means these are parallel. So we could say, so trapezium has 1 pair parallel on both sides. So the area of the trapezium always is A plus B over 2 times H, where A and B are the parallel sides. So in this case, 20 and 26. So that equals 20 plus 26 over 2. So 20, when you add them together, it gives you an average, basically, of them. And you multiply it by 12. So that equals 20 plus 26 is 46, divided by 2 is 23, times 12. You know, 20 times 12 is 240, 3 times 12 is 36, that's 276, whatever, meters squared. Now, if you didn't know that formula, you could still do this. You could split this up, right? So you could split it up into a rectangle and a triangle. So this rectangle is 12 times, so let's say rectangle. So let's go rectangle area. You could say is what? 12 times 20, which equals 240 meters squared. And you could say area of the triangle. Oh, I should say triangle area, right? Let's keep it consistent. Triangle area. Well, what is it? The height is 12. What's that distance? Well, we know here to here is 20. That's better. Here to here is 20, so that has to be 6. Area of any triangle is half the base times the height, which is half of 6 times 12. Right. What's half of 6? 3. So 3 times 12 is 36 meters squared. So the total area equals 240 plus 36, which is 276 meters squared. Now, no coincidence that they are the same, right? So that's fine. We got the area. Now we know each tin of paint covers 20 meters squared. So how many tins of paint would we need to cover 276? So let's do that. So we can say number of tins. I'm not going to write paint. We don't want to write down too much. Number of tins equals, well, the total area divided by the area that each tin covers, which is 20. Yeah. So when you do that, you should get 13.8. So we need 13.8 tins. Now, can you buy 13.8 tins of paint if you go into a shop? You might never have been in a paint shop, but I'll tell you the answer is no, okay? So what you're going to need, that implies we need 14 tins. We need 14 tins, yeah? So we're going to have a little bit left over. Now, we have to work out on the next page the least amount of money that Sophia... Wow, I just thought my computer wasn't recording for a second. I was like, oh my god, it is. Anyway, work out the least amount of money that Sophia has to pay in order to buy the paint. Okay, so you have to look at the combinations. Okay, of the way you can buy it. So you know 4 tins cost 40. But 1 tin costs 13. So 4 tins for 40, that means each tin costs 10, right? So we definitely should use that. So let's use that. Let's use that for, if we bought 4 of them, if we bought 16 tins, let's try it. So let's say we bought 16 tins, but we only need 14, right? But let's say 16 tins. We could do 4 by 4 and by 40. Okay? Because we know you get 4 tins for 40. Sugar. I apologize. Let's go back there. Sorry. We know that we can get 4 tins for 40, right? So you can get 16 tins for 4 times 40, because that's 16. Remember, 4 tins give us 40, so to get 16 we'd have to get 4 times that. So that equals $160. Well, we don't even need 16, we need 14, so that might be too much. But anyway, so in that case, it costs us 160. let's try a different combination. So what if we got 3 times 4 tins? That would give us 12. And then we got 2 individual tins. Let's see that. So that would give us 14. So if we got actually 14 tins, we could say 3 times this offer here. So it's going to be 3 times 40. Yeah. Because that gives us 12 tins. Because for $40 we get 4 tins. So if we do 3 of them, 3 of this offer, we get that. Okay, plus 2 individual tins. Plus 2 times 13. Alright? Let's see what that gives us. Well, 3 times 40 is 120. And then 2 times 13 is 26. So that equals $146. Alright? So that's obviously cheaper. So if we bought 3 of this offer and 2 of this offer, we'd have 14 tins. That's what we need. And it'll cost us $146. Alright, is there any other combination? We know, because we know that 4 tins for 40, that equals, that's $10 per tin. So we need as many of that offer as possible. Now here, this is obviously $13 per tin, right? So we need as many of this offer as possible. Now we tried 4 of this offer, but that costs $160. But here we tried 3 of that offer. Yeah. And then we had 2 of these to make it 14. And that is cheaper. So the answer is going to be, for me, is going to be $146. $146. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting. I'm just going to check that just to make sure. Just give me a second. Yeah, so that's right. So that's it. I think that's all the questions I was asked. I think so. Just want to say, Year 8 girls, Setu, you were brilliant. I'm really proud of you. I'm proud to teach you, and yeah, you've honestly really impressed me. And yeah, let's do it. Let's get a great result in these exams. Do your best. You deserve a good result. I'll mark you fairly. I won't mark you easy. I'll mark you fairly. But I'm confident you're going to do really well. I definitely believe in you. Alright, thank you and good luck.